Welcome to the Metroplus show. The Metroplus show this week again brings you a spectrum of stories from the streets of Chennai. We bring you stories of people who have scripted their success, fueled by their sheer passion and grit, and fond memories of those who have spent decades in this beautiful metro. This week's segment on Man and Machine is a special one. Previously on this segment, you have seen people who have collected a machine that is decades old. This time, we have someone who's not just any other collector. You mention anything that you can recollect having seen in those small old auction books, a sword, an old watch, coins, anything, and Vikas Manikandan will magically produce it from his cupboard. That was not the only reason that drew us to his house. He has also collected not one, two, but 5 vintage machines. Here's more to the story.
வந்த நாள் முதல் இந்த நாள் வரை வானம் மாறவில்லை வான்மதியும் மீனும் கடல் காற்றும் மலரும் மண்ணும் கொடியும் சோலையும் நதியும் மாறவில்லை மனிதன் மாறிவிட்டான்
It is fascinating how the passion to collect antiquities has been in Vikas's family for generations. Inside this almirah are housed 300-year-old swords that make Vikas, with his handlebar mustache, look like a warrior from the Mughal era. Antique gramophones, ones that croak under blunt needles, and ones that still mellifluously fill up the room. Palm leaves with old Malayalam scriptures inked on them, and the Chanel bottle that was bought for 1 Naya rupee. Even the little Webster's Dictionary, published in 1950, is of big importance to this family. But the collection that is dearest to Vikas's heart is proudly displayed in the front yard.
Apart from these collections, I love to collect bikes and cars and jeeps and these kind of things in vintage vehicles. And I would not know like how long since I've been collecting them. From childhood basically. I have a couple of bikes, scooters and a jeep now. I'm expecting more to be collected on my series.
Machines like Java and Rajdoot that were once the undisputed kings of the open highways are a part of Vikas's collection. But what stands out in this outstanding collection is a Willys 56. This Jeep that looks famished due to its discolored exterior and derelict interior was once the official carrier of the Indian Army. Undergoing a facelift and Vikas's care, the story of how it became a part of this collection is as interesting as its history.
There's an interesting story about this Willys. I was on a hunt for a Range Rover Mini. Then the book wasn't there for the vehicle, so I was following up with another Volkswagen Beetle. And finally, even I couldn't put my hands on it, so it was booked for somebody else in Bangalore. Then I was landing up on this vehicle. So I happened to pick this up and it was a runner. Then restoration is on process now. Actually, there's an interesting story behind every vehicle I collect. The two-wheelers, scooters, the Jeep, everything.
And Vikas definitely had some interesting stories to tell us. This Lambretta, whose name is derived from a small river called Lambro in Milan, was born in 1975 and has been in Vikas's possession for the past 3 years. It was love at first sight for Vikas, and it was almost as if the universe had conspired for this.
Actually, taking a ride near Lifestyle, I happened to see a mechanic coming down with a Lambretta. I just stopped him and asked him, is there any old scooters for sale? He said, this scooter itself is for sale, let me check out with the owner. Then he asked me to wait for some time and he checked out with the owner. He said he needs to check out with his son who's in States. It's being a child memory for him. So he said, okay, let me check out. And he said, I'm not going to come back to India anymore, so you better part with it. So I was lucky enough to grab it. So I picked it up.
But more delighted than Vikas was his father. For Mr. Gajendran, it was a reunion with his favorite companion for long rides. Being a regular user of a Lambretta in the 80s, he was overjoyed to see this new addition to his son's collection. And why not? After all, what's better than a long ride with an old companion to rekindle those memories?
1980 I was having this bike, and it was a very nice bike, and you'll really love riding this bike. You'll not fall down also. If you want to fall also, you will not fall down. So such a steady bike, and wherever you used to go, I used to travel in this bike only those days, and with my family I used to travel. And even when I was going for my business also, I was doing this chili powder business, That time I used to carry nearly 50 kilos of stock in this bike, and I used to travel up to Tiruvallur and come back. Today also there are so many bikes have come, like so many electronic bikes, latest conditions, so many things are there. But yet, you can never compare with this bike, because even if you put it on like any drop in a hole or anything like for spot holes also, you will not have any jerk. A very nice condition. Even to drive, even nowadays the bikes very short handles, so you have to bend and drive. This one you can sit straight and drive.
We promised Vikas there that it would take an entire episode of the Metroplus show to do justice to the collection that Vikas has. We take a break here. On the other side, how Patricia Thomas never said, "I can't."